Since you hit play on Wife Teacher Mommy, the podcast today, I want to make sure that you know that our free self-love challenge is happening in February 2024 right here on the podcast. The goal of this challenge is to make creating an intentional practice of self-love even easier than ever simply by plugging in your earbuds and listening for about 10 minutes per day. But for the full experience, you're going to want to get the scorecard so you can enter the giveaways, get the daily journal prompts sent to your inbox, and join us for the live wrap-up podcast recording. Yes, you get to join me in the studio and record the podcast together live. It is all free. Go to wifeteachermommy.com/self-love challenge to sign up. Again, it is completely free. You'll get a daily reminder with the free 10-minute coaching each day and your journal prompt, and you will see a transformation over these 14 days. It is not only going to impact your relationship with yourself, but as I'll teach during the challenge, it is going to impact every single other relationship you have in your life, your relationship with other people, your relationship with teaching. That energy is going to impact every single other aspect of your life. So sign up at wifeteachermommy.com/self-love challenge. It's free. Now let's get to the episode. You are listening to a listener favorite and an exciting announcement for the new year of Wife Teacher Mommy, the podcast. Today, I want to help you say goodbye to your New Year's resolutions that go out the window within a few weeks. And hello to your new vision board to guide you toward your dreams every day. Learn how to defeat the odds and crush the dreaded New Year's resolutions Quitter's Day. Yes, that's a real thing. I'm about to tell you about it, and I don't want you to become a victim about it. So let's go.
Hey teacher, with all you gotta do, someone's gotta take care of you. Whether it's the time or resources you lack, Wife Teacher Mommy, they have got your back. They'll bridge the gap, Teacher Mommy. They'll bridge the gap, Teacher Mommy. Between your life and classroom and your family, they'll bridge the gap, Teacher Mommy. They'll bridge the gap, Teacher Mommy. When Teacher Mommy is the place to be.
Welcome to Wife Teacher Mommy, the podcast. I'm Kelsey Sorensen, a former elementary teacher and current homeschool mom. And even though I've been a resource creator since 2014, I've realized that printables alone aren't all you need in order to thrive as a teacher or homeschool parent. That's why I also created this show and got certified as a life coach to help you finally kick burnout to the curb and feel confident with whatever challenges come your way. With the right mindset strategies and new teaching inspiration, you're going to be well on your way to your best teacher life. Now let's go.
I am so excited for 2024. Can you believe it? We are in the new year. So exciting. Are you excited for this year? Are you ready for a new start? Are you going to become more intentional this year? What are your goals? I want to hear all about them. Please share them with me on Instagram, the Facebook group, Wife Teacher Mommies Unite, wherever. The new year is a time where a lot of us naturally want to reflect, make goals, and figure out what we're going to do differently this year, how this year is going to be even better. A lot of people pick like a word for the year that they want to focus on, like intentional or, whatever that word is for you this year. And the one thing I want to talk about, though, is a little bit of an elephant in the room when it comes to New Year's resolutions. And I'm sure you know what that is. But let's face it, the odds are stacked against us with New Year's resolutions. They have such a low success rate because, a lot of people feel that they just have to set a goal for the new year, and they kind of have the reputation of going out the window. And when I Googled to learn a little bit more about this, as I was putting together the vision board challenge that we're going to do, I found out that New Year's resolutions Quitter's Day exists. It is January 17th, and most people by January 17th have given up on their goal for the new year. Like it's just gone out the window. So even though a lot of us will start a new year with good intentions, according to this was on Forbes, that New Year's resolutions go out by that day, that New Year's resolution Quitter's Day. And that's why it's so common for teachers and homeschool parents who listen here to find themselves. Maybe you're getting a new gym membership, throwing in the towel after a few weeks, and then, that keychain that gets you into the gym just collects dust. Or maybe you desire to improve your mental health and self-care during the year. I love this because I really do think mental health is one of the most important parts of our health because stress even impacts our physical health. And I think that that is a great resolution. But so many of us really, I want to improve my mental health this year, want to improve my life balance, but still feel like everything is piling on top of them and nothing changes. If you are there, don't worry, I've got you. Another one that tends to happen is you get committed to getting all your teaching supplies and materials organized once and for all. But by the next time the next year rolls around, they look the same. And maybe you're worried that it's going to be you this year, whatever your goal is. Maybe you're worried that it's going to go out the window again. Now, I feel you. I've been there before too. I am not perfect in keeping all my goals. In fact, I've fallen off the wagon just like you. And I'm actually recording this in December and I'm getting back on the wagon in December, not waiting until January though, to get back into my health and fitness routine that I got a little bit off. But here's the thing, I've also figured out a strategy that has helped me to reach my biggest goals and to more quickly get back on the wagon than I used to. And this strategy that I utilize has helped me to accomplish some really big goals, such as hitting all of the seller earning milestones on Teachers Pay Teachers, landing a book publishing deal, hosting thousands of teachers and homeschool parents at our live events, becoming certified as a life coach, inching up on 100,000 downloads on this podcast, and being asked to speak at large teacher conferences. Now, I don't say any of this to brag. I say this because I want to share how this method works. And even though I'm not perfect, I have lots of roadblocks along the way. I fall off the wagon, I get back on, I am making progress towards all these things. And I've been able to do this while still having time for my everyday work and family life. And again, so many ups and downs. But the thing that has helped me to do and accomplish all of these things, the secret. Do you want to know it? And you might know because of the title of this episode. But all the things that I mentioned, the milestones, the book deal, certifying as a coach, having these big events, launching a planner, starting a podcast and being consistent with it, even when it wasn't doing exactly what I wanted it to do. All these things were on my vision board before they ever actually happened. And I believe that with a little bit of support and clarity, you can also defy the New Year's resolution odds by utilizing a vision board. And here's why I have so much confidence in that, not only from my own experience, but because it is science backed, as you're about to hear on the replay episode that you're about to listen to. So our brains interpret a higher value behind visualizations on a board versus just written words on a to-do list. A to-do list, like, we look at it, we're like, oh, I have all these things to do, where a vision board usually helps us feel like inspired by all the things and we can kind of visualize it. We can feel it more. It's more emotionally connected. Okay, the next thing is that looking at a vision board primes our reticular activating system in our brains to grasp opportunities that would otherwise go unnoticed. Now, visuals are very powerful for our brains. Our reticular activating system, it gets it working in the background. I'll share even more about what that is on the podcast episode and how it works. But really, it helps us to find opportunities for those things that are on our vision board that might have gone unnoticed otherwise because we are constantly looking for it subconsciously. And the final reason that I really have so much faith and trust in the vision board process is that the process that I use to create a vision board helps us to get really crystal clear about what we want and what we need to think in order to get there. So we're set up for success from the get-go. So I'm really excited to be hosting a vision board challenge in January. And the amazing thing is we had actually already picked the dates of January 16th through 18th before I Googled and found out that New Year's resolution Quitters Day is January 17th. So when you join this challenge, you're committing to still be working on your goals by the 17th. You are not going to become another statistic if you join us at this vision board challenge. You will still be working on designing your dream life by mid-January and have the support through the end of the challenge to ensure that you get it done. And when the challenge ends, you will have a vision board complete in just 3 days and have a habit of utilizing it, knowing how to do that, manifesting your dream life, and naturally taking the actions that will help you to get there. So again, this is happening January 16th through 18th, 2024. Here's how it works. So each day of the live virtual challenge, it'll take place. And again, like I mentioned, I'm recording this in December, so the time might change slightly. Right now I have planned 6 o'clock to 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I think that'd be a good time to make sure that our Pacific friends can attend, but not too late for Eastern time. It's a little challenging with time zones, but we're trying to find the right balance. What will happen is I will teach a lesson for 45 minutes to 1 hour. And then I'll open up the remaining time for questions and coaching for those who attend live. So you get to see live coaching in action as well. It's incredible. You could even raise your hand and be coached yourself each day. Now, let me tell a little bit about what I plan to be teaching each day too. And it's going to be go even more in depth than this podcast episode today. Today is going to blow your mind a little bit, even here just on the podcast. We're going to be diving in and going to be answering questions. We're going to be doing it together. So day one, we're going to talk about the science behind vision boards and making it work for you. Because the thing about vision boards, you could listen to this and be like, oh, I'm going to start this. I'm going to start putting a bunch of pictures on a board and hoping for the best. But that's not exactly how a vision board works. So we'll dive into the science behind it, why vision boards work, and what you can do to set yourself up for success on day one. And then there'll be lots of coaching on it after. Then on day two, we're going to talk about what to put on your vision board. We're going to help you get super clear and specific about what you want to achieve in your life. I'm going to have guiding questions to really get you thinking what thoughts you need to think to get there with those things and how you can utilize your included vision board toolkit. You're going to get a toolkit, so you're not starting from scratch with your vision board to get it put together in a jiffy. And then on day three, we are going to talk about how to actually utilize that vision board to manifest your dream life. This is where the magic really happens. Once your vision board is put together, it's time to use it. So we'll help you learn how to utilize your vision board, create the habit of utilizing it, keeping it updated, and celebrate your wins as you start seeing your visualizations come into reality. But that's not all you're going to get either. You're going to get tons of incredible bonuses when you join this challenge too. And each of these bonuses alone is worth more than the $15 we're charging for admission to the vision board challenge. So you're going to get the vision board toolkit, like I mentioned. You're going to save hours of scouring the internet for images and things to include in your vision board. You're going to get a print and go version of the toolkit where you can just print it out and cut out the ones you want and put them on your board, or we'll also get you the editable Canva template to really make them your own. And you can use it as a starting point and go from there if you want to add your own or just change fonts and colors or the exact text, whatever you want to do. And this will be ready at least a week before the challenge. And the reason we're not going to have it ready right when the challenge begins, like today as this episode goes out, is because those who joined the challenge earlier, we're going to open the Facebook group. We're going to be, hey, what do you want added to the toolkit? What do you want to make sure is in there? So we include anything that anybody who's in the challenge wants in that toolkit. So if you're like, hey, my goal is this, but great, we're added it to the toolkit for you. So it's done for you. So that is a benefit of joining the challenge early, not waiting until right before it starts. The other thing is the pop-up Facebook group and support. That is alone like a $49 value. This Facebook group is going to be so much support. So the sooner you join us, the sooner you can start getting supported, getting started, gathering your supplies. We'll answer questions, help connect you with other like-minded educators. We're also going to have fun accountability posts and prizes for those who post pictures in the group of their completed vision boards. This is extra accountability. Like you could listen to this podcast and definitely learn a lot here and start putting one together. But this is giving you accountability. It's giving you incentive. It's giving you motivation. It's saving you time, answering your questions, getting coached on it. And then the other thing you'll get is lifetime access to the videos. So when you join the challenge, you'll get the replays. If you can't join live, you'll get the video replays. And we're also going to create a private podcast feed. So it's not going on this public podcast feed, but we'll create a vision board challenge private podcast feed where you will have access to those 3 calls to listen to on the go as well. This is great for if you miss it and you just are really busy and you just want to listen to it. It's also great for if you attend the challenge and just want to be able to refresh every here and there and listen to it on the go. This will be so helpful to those who can't attend live. We really do recommend attending live though as well, because you will just get the most out of the experience if you attend live. You'll also get our printable and digital teacher planner. So you've probably seen our amazing luxury teacher planners that we have, but this planner is unlike any other. It has my full like goal setting process that is also science backed. We'll talk a little bit about this too to help you really put that vision, all your visions into action and get clear on your goals. And you'll get access to the planner workshop replay. I did this on November 9th, where we talked all about how to utilize that planner for goal setting, time management, and more. So that will be added to the private podcast as well. So when you get access to the private podcast, even before the actual challenge has begun, you can listen to the planner workshop that I did. We'll also get you the video replay of it as well. So you're going to get support not only with your vision board, but also with a planner and your time management and all those things to help make it happen. This is a total of a $211 value for just $15, a one-time payment of $15. Now, if you are a club member, I do want to mention this. A lot of members listen to this podcast too. If you're a member, you don't need to do anything. You already get this. So you're already getting access to the Vision Board Challenge. Get to join us. It's going to be a great time. So let me get on my soapbox for a minute. If you're thinking about joining this, you're like, oh, I'm not sure, maybe we could have charged a lot more for this challenge, but we believe this work matters and we want it to be accessible to every teacher and homeschool parent who wants their best life. And I want to share a recently randomized clinical trial shows that the coaching methods that we use at Wife Teacher Mommy have proven to effectively reduce burnout while increasing professional fulfillment and self-valuation. So imagine yourself in 2024 feeling less burned out, feeling professional fulfillment, feeling better about yourself, and making major progress towards your goals, towards the vision that you want for your life. Isn't that priceless? That feeling can be yours when you join us at the Vision Board Challenge. So many of us are willing to invest our time and money in our students, our children, our spouses, but we struggle to put even a fraction of that amount of time or money into ourselves. It's just another way that we as teachers, and most of us who listen here, women, tend to put ourselves last. So I am here to tell you that you are worthy of this $15 investment to help you gain more clarity, confidence, and vision for 2024. And if you don't feel like you are worthy of it, frankly, you probably need it even more. So do something today that your future self is going to thank you for later. Skip just one Starbucks run or pizza, and your vision board challenge is paid for. So go to wifeteachermommy.com/vision board to sign up today. Okay, but that's not all I have for you today on the podcast. If you want to start prepping before the vision board challenge begins, or get a sneak peek of what I'm going to be teaching during the challenge, but there will be a lot more plus coaching, support, accountability during the challenge. Be sure to listen through the rest of today's episode. I'm going to air a replay of the episode that I did all about vision boards back in August. You'll learn exactly why vision boards work and how to get started with one. So let's go.
Are you ready to hear all about vision boards? I am so excited for this episode, and I honestly can't believe that it's taken over 100 episodes for me to do an episode on this topic. It's something that's been a real game changer for me, and I didn't realize that everybody might want to hear about it. I think in the back of my mind, I was worried that people might think it's a little like woo-woo or crazy, but honestly, as I dove into the research, it is a game changer for me, and why would I want to withhold that from you? And I had mentioned it in my very popular session that I've done at lots of conferences, Own Your Teacher Wins. And I have been asked because it was like just one method I shared of how to track your wins. And I kept getting asked, like, have you done a podcast episode about vision boards? Have you shared more about this? And I hadn't. So now I'm really excited to share my methods with you so you can take them and use them to improve your life as well. Now, you might even be wondering, like, what is a vision board? And the real gist of it is actually just like, it can be anything. It can be like a cardboard that you hang on your wall, and it just has pictures and quotes. And honestly, it is your thing. You can make it whatever you want. I'm going to explain a bit more. Basically, it's a visualization of the intentions you want to set in your life. It can be visualizing goals. It can be visualizing things you want to remember, vibes that you want to feel in your life, quotes to remind yourself of. And we're going to dive into this a little bit more. And I'm really excited to just chat about this. So what I'm going to be sharing are just 3 simple steps to help you transform your teacher life with that vision board. So I'm just going to dive in now. So step number 1 is understanding why vision boards work. So the purpose behind them, like I said, is for them to help you create the life that you want to create. Now, vision boards are basically there to help you manifest your goals. And it is kind of like, if you've heard of like the law of attraction, it's like, what you focus on grows. What you think about, what you want, kind of invite into your life comes into it. And it's kind of like how we talk about your thoughts create your feelings, drive your actions, drive your results. Like the model is really built into this as well. It's what we focus on grows. And it's not just woo-woo. It's not just like, oh, like if you think about it, it'll happen or whatever. It's not just that. This is science-backed. And let me tell you why. And there is actually a term for this, and it is called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. And what it is it's a part of the brain responsible for filtering information and influencing our focus and perception. Now, it kind of helps us pay attention to certain things while ignoring others based on our goals and priorities. It's kind of why you probably heard that, like, let's say you're shopping for a car. or something, and you're looking for a red Chevy or something. I say that because my husband has a red Chevy truck. Or, for example, when my husband, he was actually looking for his old Chevy truck, all of a sudden he was seeing them way more than he was before. And it's not that all of a sudden there were more like 50s trucks around. It's just that he was happening to notice them a lot more. And you probably notice this sensation in your life. And that is because of the reticular activating system. So the same thing happens with what we focus on. Like if we're constantly focusing on negative aspects of our lives, or if we're constantly like ruminating on things, it could be anything that we're focusing on. We notice more of that in our lives. So if we're focusing even on a person, like, oh, all the negative things about them, then we're not going to have as good of feelings about that person than if we were trying to like focus on the positive things or whatnot. Now, this is the same thing that makes a vision board work. So when you have a vision board and you have these intentions up and you actually use it and you look at it each day, that is, impacting the reticular activating system. So your brain starts filtering and searching for evidence of what is happening on your vision board and helps you kind of focus in that direction, which leads you towards those things, right? Based on your goals and your priorities. So when you create a vision board, you are essentially programming your reticular activating system to focus on those goals and intentions. And when you spend just a few minutes on it each day, you are able to really reap the benefits of doing that, of training your RAS to focus on those things. So when you fill your vision board with images and words representing your goals, your reticular activating system starts filtering information around you to match those goals. Now, and this is where the visual stimulus comes in. When you have a vision board, it's really effective in activating the reticular activating system because our brains are wired to respond very strongly to visual input, making the images we put on our vision board more impactful than if it were just written down in some notebook, especially if you're not like constantly referring to that. And this visual reinforcement enhances the connection between our conscious desires and the subconscious reticular activating system. When you consistently expose yourself to the images and representations of your goals and intentions and the vibes you want to bring into your life through your vision board, your reticular activating system works to find opportunities and experiences that align with those goals. So you might notice opportunities, you might find opportunities that will lead you towards those goals. It can also lead to an increased motivation, better decision making, and just a heightened awareness of actions that move you closer to your goals. So as you can see, this is really backed by science, that reticular activating system. This is what we're training. This is what we're programming when we create a vision board. So step one is really just understanding that. And you can probably check that off right now. You just listen to this podcast. And if you're like, you can just take my word for it. Or if you want to, you could Google reticular activating system or vision boards and find more evidence for why this really does work and decide that this is going to work for you. So I guess the first thing is understanding why they work and deciding that you want to do it. Okay, step two is creating your vision board. Now let's talk about what we do to create that. So first you want to gather your necessary materials. So it can be like a board. Honestly, my first one, what I did, I grabbed some cardboard and I put tinfoil over it and I started putting the pictures on it and hung it on my wall. And actually very quickly, my husband, who's, as some of you might know if you've been following along, if it's your first time here, no worries. I'm going to explain it right now. His name is Randy. We call him Handy Randy. He has done a lot for our members and for honestly me with this company and everything. If you've ever watched any of my videos, I've got this gorgeous like back wall with our brand colors and everything. My husband did that. Basically every time I go live, people ask about that. Actually working on moving my office and we're going to do the wall again. But he's also like done like tumblers and pencil holders and awesome things for our members and everything. But anyways, my point with this was he's very handy and he will just make things like that. So when I had this cardboard with tinfoil on the wall, he was like, I don't know if I really want cardboard with tinfoil on the wall. And he made me this gorgeous board. He got a cork board, he painted it gray, and this is how handy he is. We just had extra, baseboards from when we replaced our baseboards when we moved into this house because we wanted to just update it a little bit. And we had some extras. So he made like the frame using those, and then he used our silhouette, like vinyl cutter, to put "You Are Loved" on it. So cute. So he made me this vision board. So I've got a gorgeous one now, but I was completely happy with just like a board with tinfoil on it. You can also like just find like a cork board or, whatever you would like. Just, pick what your board is going to be. It can be so simple. If anything is getting in your way, literally grab a cardboard box and just use that, hang that on your wall. There's nothing wrong with that. That is how I started. Now, the next thing you can do is decide if you're going to do just one overall vision board or if you want to do like one for like your personal family life, one for teaching. Now, so far, what I have done is just one vision board that I have everything. And then I kind of like, in one corner, I'll have like the personal stuff. And then the other corner will be kind of work based. And then in the other corner will be like very like personal, just me based. I'm actually toying with the idea now that we're kind of moving around my office and everything of having one in my office that is all work related and one that is just personal and teaching my children, homeschooling them, like all those goals and family. But I haven't decided yet. I will decide on that soon as we get those rooms rearranged. But again, choosing what you want to do. If you are just getting started, honestly, I would recommend just doing one. Unless you're really gung-ho and you want one in your classroom and at home. Doing just one for me has worked for years. Like, I love that. So if you are like, I can't decide, just let me decide for you. You can just do one. Okay. But I just wanted to throw that idea out there that you can do different themed ones if you want. The next would be thinking about what goals, what intentions you want on your vision board. And honestly, I sometimes do this as I'm building it as well. Like, I start with a list that I want to do. So any goals you have, personal or work related, like maybe you want to put together some sort of curriculum for the kids you're working with. Maybe you want to lose a certain amount of weight. Maybe you want to do some of your hobbies more that you haven't been doing. Just think about what you kind of want in there. And then what are your current, also think about like what current feelings are you feeling a lot, or what are you ruminating on? What are you stressing about that seems to consistently come up? And what can you put on your vision board to remind you and kind of rewire your brain each day? That is something I always do as well. Okay, next you want to find the visuals that will represent those things for you. So I want to tell you kind of some examples of things that I've put on my vision board in case that might help you. And the other thing I want to share is the more specific you can make it, the better. Like for my weight loss, I found a picture of a scale. I just Googled it and then I actually put the weight on the scale that I wanted to hit. And I put that on there. So it's like, I'm like, okay, here's my goal weight. And I'm visualizing it each day. I also have it with like the number of podcast downloads because I want to reach like a certain number of teachers with this podcast. So I have that up there. And the number of members I want to see in Wife Teacher Mommy Club. Those are kind of goals, professional goals for me. I had a picture of my life coach school certification. I mocked it up with like my name on the certificate before I had even done it. So I could visualize, hey, here is that certification. Look, I am a certified coach. Before I had even signed up for certification, I had that up there. So I knew it was something I'm working towards. I mocked up an image of the physical planners that we now offer. I just took ones that were like kind of similar in design and I like put our planner over it, like put Wife Teacher Mommy brand on it. And I like, basically made it look like a listing was in our shop of the planners. I also put the self-coaching model on my vision board so I could remember each day, like circumstances are neutral. It's my thoughts that create my feelings, that drive my actions, create my results. I see that every day. I put an image of the gap and the gain to remind myself, am I in the gap or am I in the gain? If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is a book by Dr. Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan. I highly recommend it. I also refer to it in episode, I'm not sure what number it is actually, but it's called Own Your Teacher Wins. It is a full recording of my session from Educate and Rejuvenate. Highly recommend listening to that if you haven't yet. And then I put up lots of just visual images of reminders so it's not just goals. So some are goals, like very specific, like this has an end date. This is something that at some point I'm going to take it off the board and put it in a book to remind myself that once this was a goal, now I've done it. Kind of celebrate that the vision board helped me achieve it. And the other things I have is I just put a family picture up there. So I remember that my family is one of my focuses. And you can do that for things with like faith or other things as well that you want to make sure are in your focus each day. I also put pictures of places I'd like to go on vacation just because I think that's fun. Or I just put pictures like of the mountains, like vibes I want to feel, like, oh, I want to feel more relaxed. So you can just put like a picture of like the ocean or the mountains, whatever makes you feel relaxed, or however you just want to try to show up in your life. I put lots of quotes on my vision board, especially like I mentioned for things like, if I'm in a lot of scarcity mindset where I'm like worried about like things or whatever, or if I'm currently kind of trying to overcome thought patterns, I put up quotes that kind of help counteract that. Or like, if I'm trying to work on my self-confidence or my giving myself more grace, for example, one quote I've had up there that I leave up there is from Christina Kuzmich, who I love. Give yourself more credit than criticism, more grace than judgment. That's been up on my vision board. Now, a couple that I'm just about to add as I'm kind of maintaining my vision board, like I mentioned, that's a step I haven't mentioned yet. That's a step I'm going to get to. But again, I'm like adding more things. One quote that I just heard in a book I'm listening to, the book is called The Universe Has Your Back. I'm really enjoying it. But one quote that she said is, those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait and wait without anxiety. Now, that is something when that just hit me, I'm like, okay, if you ever hear a quote that hits you, put it on your vision board so that you can continually get reminded of it. So that's from Gabrielle Bernstein. And I'm putting that one up on my vision board very soon. And then another one that came up in another book I'm listening to, which is called Believe It by Jamie Kern-Lina. Love her. It's know your why, then fly, girl, fly. So these are quotes that I'm putting up on my vision board to just remind myself each day of those things. Another thing you can do is pictures of your hobbies. So like I'll put a picture of a book up there because I want to make sure that I'm taking time to read. It's something I enjoy. And a lot of times we forget to make time for those things that we enjoy. So I put pictures of those things I enjoy. Like I put up a picture of like Taylor Swift, like, you know, like, hey, let's make sure you're like listening to music that you enjoy. Make sure that you are filling your life with those things that bring you joy as well, not just all about your goals and your work or, you know, but just the things that you enjoy, making sure that those make it into your life as well. So those are just some ideas of things that you can put on your vision board. I just will a lot of times go to Google and I'm like, I want something for this. And I Google and you find images. And this is like completely fair use because you're not like distributing it to anyone. You can just grab an image, print it out, put it on your board. Like you're just using it personally. So that's totally fine. Everything's fair game, really. But one thing I do want to mention is for those of you who are in Wife Teacher Mommy Club, I haven't planned the dates yet. This week I plan to, well, it actually probably is up by the time you're listening. So check your club dashboard. But as of when I'm recording, I don't have the date for this workshop yet, but sometime in September, I plan on doing a workshop about vision boards. And I'm going to have a bunch of printables for like common goals or just lots of quotes that I think would be applicable to teachers, like a lot of the ones that are in our teacher planner and everything. So you're not starting completely from scratch. You can go through and kind of pick those images and we'll do a workshop. I'll share even more about vision boards and we can even like do them, work on them together. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's kind of accountability to get it done. So if you're in the club, look forward to that. Now, the next thing you want to do is when you have all your items, you get to arrange them onto the board creatively, like however you'd like what I mentioned, what I kind of do because I have one vision board, I kind of usually put like theme the areas. Like I kind of have like the 4 quadrants of the vision board, or it's not really exact because I feel like there's more than 4 different categories I have them in, but I try to put like, you know, I kind of put my hobbies by each other. I kind of put my like professional stuff by each other. I put my personal goals by each other, put family stuff. I put like the vibes and vacations and all those, or like just places I would love to travel one day. I put all of those somewhere and then I put quotes on another area or whatever. So, but you got to do it creatively. Like if your brain likes it mixed up too, that is great. The reason why I do the categories is because usually when I'm looking at it each day, I'm kind of like, I look at the whole thing, but then I'm like, what am I going to focus on today? And then the next thing, once you've created it, you want to put the vision board in a prominent place that you are going to see it every day. So right now I have mine in my bedroom next to my bed so I can just look at it, you know, as I'm getting ready in the morning, right when I get up, as I'm going to bed. It's just kind of there for me to see it and notice it. And again, you could put it in your classroom. You could put it in wherever is somewhere that you want to see it. And again, that might also depend on if you choose to do one or multiple for different areas of your life. Okay, so that was step 2 is to create your vision board. Now, step 3 is to use it and maintain it. So the way you use it is what I do is I want to spend at least 3 minutes a day looking at it. And like I kind of started to mention, I want to look at the whole thing. I kind of like scan through it and remind myself what each of those things are. But then I might pick either like one area of the vision board, like whether that's personal or professional or the quotes, whatever. And I don't like be like, okay, on this day, I'm going to do this. On this day, I'm going to do that. It's whatever I feel. I'm like, okay, today I'm feeling drawn towards this. I'm going to really focus on that for a few minutes and think about like, and this is where the power is. This is where you're training that reticular activating system. You kind of think about, okay, where am I at with this? What are some things I could do? This is where you kind of get your brain to work. I really like to do this in the morning because that's where it sets your intentions for the coming day. And again, it can be just like a few minutes. I really like 3 minutes though, as like kind of the minimum, because I mean, we all could take 3 minutes to set our intentions and train our reticular activating system on what is going to move us forward to where we want to go in our lives. So that is the big part of using it and then maintaining it. So keeping it updated and relevant. So if you hit one of the goals, you can, you know, take it off the board and you can put what you want up. Or if something changes, like there are times where I take something down just because you know what, that actually no longer is a goal of mine. Like I've realized I'm changing directions. I can take it down then because you don't want something up there that is no longer one of your intentions. So you can also just update it depending on how you feel. Or if like, okay, this quote served its time. I no longer need the reminder of that. I need the reminder of this, so just keep it updated on what you currently need. Reviewing those intentions regularly, adjusting them as needed, whether you hit them or whether you're changing directions, and then celebrating those milestones and successes along the way. So like I mentioned in my Own Your Teacher Wins session and podcast episode, when you hit a goal that was on your vision board, you can then take it off the board, but add it to like a binder or a book or something where you can then go back and think, oh, these are all the things that were once up on my vision board that now I've accomplished, or now I no longer need this reminder because I have feel like I've trained myself in that and I'm focusing on something else. You can put those in your book to show that you've kind of graduated those things from your vision board so you can see your progress. And I just love that, be able to go back through and see all those things that you've accomplished. And then the other important thing is consistency. The effectiveness of your vision board is tied directly to how often you use it. So if you make it and put it up, but then you never look at it, it's just kind of there. Obviously, it's not going to train your particular activating system to navigate towards those goals and intentions. So regularly reviewing it, like I said, daily, each morning is a great way to do it. And stay committed to your goals will reinforce that connection between your conscious intentions and the subconscious programming of your reticular activating system. Okay, so let's kind of go through again what we learned from this episode. So it was really 3 steps. So the first was understanding the why behind vision boards and how they work. So understanding that by creating a vision board, you are training your reticular activating system to focus on those goals and intentions. It's just like when you're shopping for a car or, it's back to school time and you suddenly notice all of the supplies everywhere. And that actually is that may not be the best example because there actually are more of them, but you might notice things a lot more, based on what you're focusing on, right? We know that is a phenomenon that we see in our lives. So that is taking that phenomenon and using it to our advantage with a vision board. And we also know that visual stimuli our brain responds really well to. So we are just using this to train our brain into the direction that we want to go. Step 2 is creating your vision board. So first, getting the board, whatever it is, whether it's like I mentioned, like a piece of cardboard, you can put some tinfoil on it or not, or you make a board or you buy a cork board from the store or you go on Amazon and look for a vision board, whatever it is, just get the board and don't let that get in the way of your doing it because you can always upgrade it or change it later. Just pick something. Then deciding if you want 1 or 2, and then starting to cut or more, or how exactly you want to do it. This is your creative project. Let your creativity shine. This is where you get to find those images, those quotes, those reminders, pictures of your hobbies, pictures of all the things that you want to remember each day. You get to put those up on your vision board. And this is all you. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And then finally is once you create it, don't let it go to waste. Don't let that energy and effort you put into your vision board to be in vain. Use it daily, consistently. I recommend 3 minutes per day. Focus on look at all of it, focus on a section of it. Wherever you feel drawn, use that vision board, and that is what will train your reticular activating system. I really do believe that this can really transform your personal life and your professional life, help you to feel more balanced, help you to feel more intention in your life, help you to not be just a spectator of your life, but actually a physical participant in it, creating what you want to see in your life.
Okay, if you are still listening, you just listened to all the information about the Vision Board Challenge. You listened to the full replay all about vision boards. If you loved this episode and feel inspired and like a vision board is something that you want to do, you are going to love the support, coaching, and easy-to-use toolkit to make putting together your vision board an unforgettable experience. You'll get support. You'll be in a community with other teachers who are doing this too. Go to wifeteachermommy.com/vision board to sign up now. The link is also in the show notes. I hope to see you there.
Thank you for listening to Wife Teacher Mommy, the podcast. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to make your podcast experience even more personalized, I'd love to send you a custom podcast playlist of my top recommended episodes for you that I think will be the most helpful based on where you are in your journey. Simply go to wifeteachermommy.com/podcast quiz and answer a few simple questions. It'll take less than 2 minutes and you'll have your custom playlist sent your way. Plus, you'll get updates when we release new episodes and get an exclusive clip from a coaching call sent to you every single week. So you'll get even more free content to help you live your best life. You've got nothing to lose, so what are you waiting for? Go to wifeteachermommy.com/podcast quiz now.